Greetings ladies and gentlemen, it's the Digital MB, Martin Blythe, representing Team Clocked. So, it's just around the corner, Mortal Kombat X. It has its worldwide release on April 14th, 2015. I am very excited for this game. It's probably one of the rare years that I have in video games where I have a beat 'em up as my most anticipated game. It looks great, absolutely phenomenal. They've stuck with the traditional 2D approach to the fighting franchise, which they had reignited back in 2011 with MK9, or it was just called Mortal Kombat. But it looks like they've they've laid the foundations of that. They brought out Injustice Gods Among Us back in 2013, and they've basically spliced together all the good bits for Mortal Kombat and Injustice to make Mortal Kombat X. They've put interactive stages in there. They've put narratives within the stages, which is great. They've introduced some fantastically looking new characters that I'm eager to sink my teeth into. Fatalities, of course, are back. They look as gruesome as ever. They've reintroduced the brutalities, which were around back in Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. That's when that was introduced. They're coming back. And I'm assuming they've got other surprises in there that they're not ready to reveal just yet. They might leave it until just before release, or they might just leave it for us to find out ourselves. So things are looking pretty good. Today I basically wanted to give you my opinion on the Mortal Kombat franchise in general, why it's still here and why it's been reborn. It's risen from the ashes like a phoenix. So back in 2002, 2003, Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance came out, and they were really trying to compete with, at the time, Tekken. Street Fighter was still going, but at the time with Street Fighter, they were doing, well, people were still playing Street Fighter 3 back from '99, and that was predominantly in the tournaments that they had worldwide. But Virtua Fighter was still clinging on, Dead or Alive was still clinging on, so there were some fighters going in and around that area, that stage, and Mortal Kombat was trying to do whatever it possibly could in the 3D realm of beat 'em ups to try and stay afloat with the competition. Now, they tried to be as unique as they could be with those games, and for some reason it just, sales started to plummet again for NetherRealm Studios. The characters that were bringing in were okay. Some of them were very forgettable. But they did cling on to a couple of them, which we have seen lurk around since then. It just didn't, but you know, it didn't seem to capture exactly what people were hoping for in a beat 'em up. I think people got a little bit tired and things got a little bit stale in the whole beat 'em up sort of genre, and it just wasn't working. They released Mortal Kombat Deception a couple of years after that. Then in 2006, Mortal Kombat Armageddon, which essentially was Mortal Kombat. Well, they tried to make it like Mortal Kombat Trilogy, where every single character you can possibly imagine was in the game. It was alright, wasn't great. They got rid of the traditional fatalities, which was a bit of a shock. It was okay, but I think NetherRealm Studios knew that they had to do something really different. Now, 2009, we saw Street Fighter 4 come out, which took everything back to the 2D stage of beat 'em ups, but using the latest 3D graphics. Now, at first when I saw Street Fighter 4, the trailer, I was like, yeah, it could work, and then I saw some of the ultra moves that you could do on that, and it looked great. It looked so good, so engaging. The gameplay mechanics have got to be so right with beat 'em ups, and Street Fighter had nailed it again by taking it back to 2D. And they took the world by storm in tournaments, just in general, local multiplayer. The online multiplayer aspect of that, which beat 'em ups had missed out on for a number of years. That was back because of the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3. So that realm of competition that was untapped, they could now explore with Street Fighter 4, and it worked amazing. I played Street Fighter 4 a lot, and I played it online in a competitive landscape for many, many hours as well. Not just me, but my friends also. So a couple of years pass. Street Fighter 4 is still going very, very strong. They brought out Super Street Fighter 4, then they brought out the arcade edition. So things are going really, really good for Capcom as far as the Street Fighter franchise is concerned. And then all of a sudden they announced the new Mortal Kombat game. Now, bearing in mind that it was announced, I believe, in 2010. So you've had a 4-year gap in between the games. And they went 2D again. And obviously they've tried to mimic what they got with Street Fighter 4, which is fine. If there's a formula that works for a genre, go for it. Absolutely. You know, it's not as if Capcom have the rights to 2D gaming. They don't. The thing is you've got to remember that Mortal Kombat was desperate. They had to do something. NetherRealm Studios had to do something with that franchise, and hat off to them because they grafted, they worked as best they possibly could to keep that franchise alive. So they started releasing the footage of Mortal Kombat 9, which again was just labelled Mortal Kombat, and they had created a game that looked great to watch as a viewer. So it didn't, for me personally, I didn't really care that much if I was playing the game. I remember on the run up to the release of Mortal Kombat 9 that I would watch so many videos of these 3-4 minute videos of just normal matches, because it just looked so entertaining. And they had the stages looked great, the characters were reimagined, they looked awesome, they kept their sort of old school flavour that we all knew, but give it a bit of a new spin as well, which was really interesting to see. The fatalities were gruesome, and they were great. They were awesome. They brought back the babalities, which was quite an interesting thing they brought back. Never expected that, but it came back. And they also did this great thing with the beat 'em up genre. Again, with the whole 3D models, but with the 2D mechanics, they brought X-ray moves into it. So you had some moves from Street Fighter where it would zoom in on the character when they did like a special move, or it would go around them or zoom out, and these really great cinematic effects that they were put on. They did that with the X-ray moves, but then it would zoom in on a body part and it would show you the bone structure, the muscle, and things tearing and crunching and snapping, being twisted around. And oh my god, it was just, when I saw that I was so excited. It looked just awful. It looked horrible, and it looked so graphic. But combine that with the sound effects and just the overall speed of the fights, it made it look so good and so entertaining. And they must have known, NetherRealm Studios must have known that they had nailed it. They nailed it. We saw sales go through the roof for a Mortal Kombat game. The first time in years. They'd never seen sales figures like that before. You know, it reignited that studio. The franchise was back. And in this day and age, when with regards to beat 'em ups, you know your game has made it when you go to the major tournaments. Evo is the big one in Las Vegas. If you can stand there with Street Fighter and have an army of people that will compete against each other on Mortal Kombat, then you've definitely made it. You've got your core audience right there, which is exactly what I was hoping to see from Mortal Kombat when it was released. So what they've now done is they've basically capitalised on that. The new one is due to come out. They've integrated loads of new online features. So now you're going to have daily and weekly challenges, which means you're going to be able to come back to the game and it's going to be fresh and new every time you put it on. You've got, obviously the online multiplayer must be there. I really hope it works. I think the online multiplayer was very sketchy on the last one, very laggy. So I really hope they've fixed it this time around, because I am itching to get back some really good competitive online gaming on a beat 'em up. The fatalities again look absolutely brilliant. They've brought the new characters in, more than what I thought they would ever bring in. The story mode looks really fleshed out. The story mode was a huge part of Mortal Kombat 9. It was essentially Mortal Kombat trilogy. It was the first 3 games told in a story, and they spliced it with the gameplay really well with no loading times. And I'm assuming that's what they're going to do again for this one. And I am hoping that they're going to follow on from the story last time around. So seeing Shinnok in the trailer for the story mode of Mortal Kombat X, I'm assuming that they have done just that. But integrating the new fighting styles, each character has now 3 fighting styles. So in terms of giving the competitive spin on things and making things a lot more interesting as far as the official competitions go, it's going to be really interesting to see, because now you can integrate all the interactivity with the stages. You can now pick your own unique fighting style for your character. The opponent is going to have to really think about strategy and think about how they're going to be able to overcome all of these things now. And it's meant longevity for Mortal Kombat X now on a competitive level. That's what I'm looking forward to seeing. So guys, please let me know what you think about Mortal Kombat X. Do you think it is going to carry on this huge sales boom for NetherRealm Studios? Do you think they're maybe they're going to take it too far this time and we're going to see a little bit of a dip in sales? You know, give me an idea of what other things you would like to see in Mortal Kombat X, things that they haven't announced yet, any new stages that you would like to see, any new alities that you would maybe like to see come back besides the brutalities, any little quirks that you think they could put into the game that would make things really fun and really interesting for people watching, and for people playing. So thank you very much for joining. Remember, you can follow us at Team Clocked on Twitter to find out all the latest news about the videos and the plans that we've got coming up. You can follow me personally at The Digital MB on Twitter, and you know, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. You know, we always welcome all of your comments, good and bad. You know, be constructive, obviously. Just so we can make the best content that we can for you guys. But until next time, my name is Martin Blythe, the Digital MB, representing Team Clocked. Thanks very much.